So I've been in relationships. I've almost got married multiple times. Okay. But I always thought that first off, so there's two aspects for me. There was my relationship and how I'd be as a father. Okay. There was two sides of it.
It was tough.
And so the relationship part never really panned out. But even if it did, I mean, people have kids without being married.
100%.
You know, all the time. Stuff like that happens all the time. And so the other side of it was like being a father. Am I going to be a good example? Dude, I got my shit figured out.
This episode is sponsored by Southern Utah Safe and Vault. It's one-stop shop. Buy, education, delivery, everything you need with the safe or a vault door. Website is safesfirst.com. Their showroom is 1397 West, Sunset Boulevard, number 115 in St. George, Utah. Phone number is 435-767-7878. Don't make me cry.
I really don't like to do this at all.
If you make me cry, I'm going to cut you.
But
For real.
like, we've all gone through our own experiences. We've all been mad at him. We've all been mad at all of them for certain reasons. But you start to get into this, like, again, I call myself almost 40. He is 40.
Yeah,
You're not.
I'm 34.
You're still
Still in my 30s.
You're still a baby.
Young 30s.
Dude, you wish things could be a little bit different, that he could be sitting right there on the end of that table. And you could share, hey, when I was 18, this is what I thought of you. Hey, when I was 24, this is what I thought of you. But I've gained a new appreciation for you now because these are the things I've experienced as an adult in my life.
Sure.
Because how many times do you want to just punch him in the face?
A lot.
A lot. But now, you still want to punch him in the face.
No, I was just thinking, like,
You still do.
my relationship with him was a little different. Like,
But if you could actually sit there now and we could have maybe worked some stuff out or whatever, like, or not, even, but just to be able to share what we've learned from our past and our upbringing, even if whatever the way it was taken, like if you could just share, but you can't.
yeah.
And dude's dead.
Dude's dead, yeah.
And so you can't.
Well, I think if
so you gotta
there's
take it whatever way you can and try and share that with your people and your posterity and everything you can, just share it, because a little bit of part of me wishes that he could be sitting on the end of that and you could tell him what your experience was with all of, just like we just did,
Everything you talked about.
from young to our age now, like just share it.
yeah.
And
I mean, that's part of the thing that bugs me is like I don't even want to say bugs me because I don't even put that much thought to it, but that like he took that away from us. Like he made that decision and dude, I know how dad would get. I mean, you guys do too. Like he would see red and
he's gone.
And so I think that he had to have been at that point. And so this is what's crazy to me though. If we want to get this deep, like I look at Will and I'm like, how does that not go through your head?
Yeah.
Seeing red or not, like, how does that not go through your head?
He was sick, man.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not shitting on him at all. I'm just like, that's my experience. Like you're saying, your experience now, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even blame him. Like, I think he, like you said, he helped everyone else. He never helped himself. And ultimately that's what took his life.
His demise.
Yeah. That's what took his life.
For sure. And I'll tell you the honest truth right now. His mom worries about that with all of us.
What's that?
I know
we don't
she
take
does.
care of ourselves.
That we take care of everybody else before we take care of ourselves.
I know she does.
Well, it's probably true.
I think it's true to a extent, but I think as we get older, I think we're starting to realize I know for my personal self that I mean, I'll help anybody.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? I'll help anybody. But I think when the straws are up, I'm going to pick my own straw for my own self. I'm going to take care of myself. I think because we've all learned from Dad, from that experience we had, that I truly believe that all of us are going to take care of ourselves first.
And I hope so, but I almost disagree a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I mean that if it was between him or me, he would save me.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, no shit.
Oh, there you go.
That's different, bro. That's different. I'd save any of you sons of bitches before I say myself. That's different, though.
And
Sacrifice,
I
dog.
think we're all the same way.
Yeah, sacrifice. That's different. That's different.
Wow.
I think part of I'll switch this real quick. And
Yeah, maybe you should.
we'll kind of it's it's still dad, but I think my issue with him when I had one, and I think it was very short, because I just, for me, I had to get on with my life. I think back at all those things that he had taught me, and dad, for me, like, it was respect. He taught me respect, and like, you earn respect, right?
100%,
And like drilled that into me.
Absolutely.
And so I think at that point, and probably what helped me move on and get over it, I don't know. I mean, I'll finish my thought, and maybe it's not a good way to put it out there, but when it came to the point of that night when I was at the house face to face with him.
Yeah. That's not what you called me, right?
Yeah, that's when Mike showed up and Adam showed up, and then he ended up moving out the next day. He
Sent
left
him on
the
a
next
motorcycle.
day.
He left.
Yeah.
He left right then. Drove to Idaho.
I think he was there for a night.
No, he was not.
Oh, okay.
No, I told him, you get the hell out of here, and he left. He never came back.
But so I think my thing, standing there with him, I lost just about every ounce of respect I had for him. But I think in the end, for better or for worse, I don't know. I mean, I'm 34. Ask me when I'm 100, I guess. But
I remember that.
like that almost helped me, because I was like, well, I just don't have respect for this guy anymore.
Right.
So it helped me move on. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
It did two things.
call it a lost cause what you want, but it's over.
It helped you not have to hold on to that shit, but it also helped your respect level for the people around you. Say, I ain't ever gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
ain't never gonna be that guy. I'm never gonna do that.
Well, dude, and I've been open about it. Like, part of my waiting so long to have kids, and at the time didn't even want kids, was that.
Right.
Like, I just thought, like, I don't ever want to have to make that decision like he made for us. Right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, I don't ever want to have to be in that situation. So if I never have kids,
Yeah, you
then I
can't
never
be
am
put
in that situation.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, all in all, dude,
Well,
Big
I-
Willie style's freaking awesome. So I'm
Big
glad I
Willie's
did.
star-
I'm on a
bro.
different side of the same
Love
coin
Big
with
Will.
you in that one,
Shout out to Big Will.
because we're all thinkers.
Yeah.
We're all thinkers.
Yeah, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
We're all deep thinkers. Whether it's, I'm not gonna get
Good
into
or
that.
evil.
We're all deep thinkers, but people always, I don't like to wear this badge at all. I really don't like to wear it because it puts a different spin on things. But people call me the smart one.
Yeah, you're the smart one, bud.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let's pump the brakes here.
I've always said that, bud.
Jason is the
Sorry.
smart one.
Grandpa calls me the smart one, so you can all
you're the-
fuck off.
I said it. I said you're the smart one.
Grandpa says
asshole.
it, it's what it is.
I mean, he already bragged about
But-
being AP
I know,
classes.
right?
No. So
But he is the middle child.
I tend to overthink things. I overanalyze. I overthink things. I miss opportunities. All that that goes along with it. Where were we at? What were we talking about?
Dad and you being an overthinker.
That's it.
Pretty much.
That's all you got from
It
me.
was your rant.
Yeah, you're ranting.
What were we talking about?
Mal.
Okay, no.
If Derick never had kids, he'd never
Yeah,
been.
thank you, Mal.
You're
That's what we were
welcome.
talking about.
Thanks, Mal.
So
Cut that, please. That was kind of embarrassing.
no, it was funny. so shut up. It was funny. So I've been in relationships. I've almost got married multiple times. Okay, but
true.
I always thought that first off, so there's two aspects for me. There was my relationship and how I'd be as a father. Okay, there was two sides of it,
It was tough.
and so the relationship part never really panned out. But even if it did, I mean, people have kids without being married.
100%.
You know, all the time. Stuff like that happens all the time. And so the other side of it was like being a father. Am I going to be a good example? Do I got my shit figured out?
Yeah. You never do, but yeah. Not you in general, but
Yeah, but
in general.
a little bit more, a little
more.
Don't.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
I hope you do.
And I've only in the last maybe 6 months maybe 6 months. I was going to say 6 months to a year, but 6 months being really like, you know what? I think maybe I could do this thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I could actually have a kid.
Because you've never been married or ever had.
No.
You helped raise my kids, but you never had
That's
a
what I'm
kid.
saying. I've had
You've never been
experience.
married. Right.
I've 100% had experience.
Right. I just want to clarify that.
Yeah. I've helped raise people's children,
Right.
but I've never had my own. I've never been married. And only in the last like 6 months, maybe, that I've actually told myself, you know what, maybe you could do this thing.
Is this scary for you? Does this scare you a little bit?
It terrifies the shit out of me.
Yeah.
To be married or have kids?
Both.
Both.
Both, probably.
More so have kids.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think I got the relationship thing figured out.
Yeah. I mean, after what, 48 years, you better.
But that's what I'm saying. I've held off.
Okay.
I haven't been married 6 times.
Hey. Yeah, it is 6, actually. I thought it was 7, but yeah, 6.
I'm going to end with that. I'm not going to go on anymore. But I learned from my examples.
Good.
I'm
That's
the
what I'm
smart
here
one.
for.
Yeah. You
what
do
I'm
dumb
here for.
shit, I learn from it.
That's my goal in life. I do stupid shit. Y'all better learn from it.
Yeah.
I said the effort again, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So I've kind of finally told myself in life, like, I think that maybe I could do this. I'm almost 40. Think about when our parents were 18.
Yeah.
It still trips me out.
That's the whole tangent I'm going on to.
Yeah.
I think that it's okay for some people to figure out their stuff and do it a little later in life if that's what they need to do.
Oh, for sure.
Other people's paths are different. That's fine.
Yeah.
But can you imagine? I'm 36. Our parents had 5 kids above the age of like 4.
I know.
Like their youngest one was like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
My age.
I know. I thought about that. I'm like, holy shit. Like, mom was what, 19 when I was born? 18?
18.
My dad was 19. I was 18.
Barely 19.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They were both 18.
That's bad shit crazy.
Yeah.
Mom, sorry, I love you, but that's crazy.
Man, but at the same
crazy.
time,
They killed it.
I
They
think
killed
about,
it.
well, I think about,
Damn.
so we had Will when I was 31, 32.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
And I'm like, freak, man, I'm going to be like in my 50s when that dude, freaking, you know? So
Think about me.
What's what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I've thought about that. I'm like,
So what's better?
yeah, like, well, let me put it this way. Like, and I'm sure dad had his knees and he was in pain and stuff too when we were all younger and he was being super active with all of us.
Right.
Like, I think now, like, dude, like getting on the ground and playing trucks every night. I'm like, this freaking sucks. I'm like, my freaking body hurts, dude.
You're next, dude, bro. You're next.
Exactly why I was bringing this up.
It's it's like,
You're
yeah,
next.
am I mentally more mature than I
Yeah.
was when I was 18?
You are.
100%. But at the same, but I'm like, okay, all that active stuff, like, man, it's hard.
Shit's out the window, bro.
And we're not even like playing baseball and basketball and football. Like, we're not even being like that part active.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, dude. And I'll give dad props for that my entire life, dude. Because when I get home doing 12 hours, 6 hours, whatever it was, you know, I get home from work and Big Willie's there and he's like, Dad, let's play trucks.
Yeah.
I'm just like, fuck, dude. I'm so tired.
That's just trucks. Try playing baseball
Well, so
for
that's what I'm
5
saying.
hours.
I'm not
Yeah,
even.
exactly.
I'm not even into like the
throwing
active
200
stuff.
pitches back and forth.
Yeah,
but-
I think that's.
I mean, like I do it, but I'm just
Yeah.
like I sit there and think, man, like it's only gonna get more active than this. This is the bare minimum of
Absolutely,
being
bro.
active.
My opinion is that you're better off having more of the mental stuff
I agree. Yeah,
than the
100%.
physical stuff. Because I'm the same way. I'm like, okay, am I gonna be a 55-year-old dad trying to teach my kid Little League?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that. I don't know. I'm 40, still trying to teach my kid Little League.
Somebody else can teach your kid the physical stuff.
No,
But I think the mental and the lineage and stuff comes from you.
no,
Yeah.
I disagree.
What do you think?
I guess I've taught my kids, my boy, for the past 4 years now, and every sport there is besides basketball is that gay sport.
Yeah, I taught him basketball.
Yeah, you taught him basketball, but
Because that's gay.
it's gay.
It's not gay.
It's super gay.
Anyway,
I'm not gay.
Anyway, I don't know. I've literally coached for the last 4 years in football, soccer, baseball, and maybe this is different because you never.
I can still
you never
coach.
coached. I know, but
What do you mean I never coached?
don't get upset.
Tell me I never coached.
Okay, don't get upset.
Say it again.
Don't get upset.
Say it again.
anyway,
Calm down.
I coached. That's the difference. That's what I'm saying. I can coach, but it's getting down or doing all the physical stuff when I was in my 20s that I can't quite do anymore. I can still coach
I understand.
now.
Yeah.
But actually doing it and running base with you and doing all that stuff, like,
Well,
different.
Dad was a player.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were growing up, Dad played. He
'Cause
pitched.
he was in his
he
20s.
hit, right. So that's what I'm saying.
exactly what I'm saying. He's going on the same line I was. He just thinks he's counteracting me, and he's not.
Oh, he's just saying that he's
We
super
coached.
active.
I
I don't
coached.
know what that means, but yeah.
We did coach. We taught them.
You were saying that you're still active with your kids.
You can
even
teach
at
them
50.
without having to do the physical stuff.
Bro,
At 40.
I'm 40. I'm not 50 yet, dude. No, I'm just saying. I know what you're saying, but I think when it gets to that point to where you have the option to actually physically, you've done that in front of your house, so shut your face.
I would
You
like
actually-
to teach them physically, but I think it's more important to teach them the mental part of it.
Well, yeah, but you're going to be so excited to play with them
Sure.
because so Beckham, my son, dude, I started teaching baseball. He sucked because we were just automatically good. We were just good. I mean, obviously, when I was 5, I may not have been so good, but we were pretty damn good.
We were automatically good because Dad did it with us when we were like 4.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So obviously, I didn't have Beckham when I was that young, but it took me a few years to realize I hated it, dude. I hated playing with him because he sucked so bad. I'm like, bro, just throw me the damn ball, throw it to my glove, like hit the target, all the basics, and he couldn't do it. I'm like, dude, F this, I'm done. I'm going aside. But then I think like, oh shit, he's little. I had to take a step back and think about it, and it's been really freaking cool the last couple of years, whether it was soccer, even out with you in front of your house, just practicing. But you see them progress. That's where you start to bloom, bro. You
Yeah.
start to get that inkling in your eye, like, dude, okay, now this is fun. Okay, yes, you might have to take a little bit of a step back because you're getting old,
He's proving my point.
but I'm still being physical. Shut up. But you're more excited to go play with them as you start teaching them more physically, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah, you always are coaching your kids. You're coaching them in life.
Yeah.
Whether it's sports or school. My daughter, I love her to death. She's one of my favorite people, but she's really pissing me off right now. But she wants to move out of my house. She's 17. We talked about this earlier. And I'm trying to like think about how I'm going to talk to her. I'm taking her to dinner tomorrow night. Like, what am I going to say? Like, how am I going to try to explain this to her without her getting pissed off or upset with me? How am I going to present this?
Right, but that's what I'm getting at. You're talking about the mental side of things.
Both.
But you're talking about Jackson talking to her.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about both.
That's the mental side of things.
That's the mental part. Yes. Yes. But I'm saying,
So
it's
you have
both.
your young 20s and the physical side of things. That's cool. But what you're focusing on is how you're coaching Beckham, how you're talking to Jackson. It's all the mental side of things. When you have mental growth and mental maturity, I feel like you're better off. I would rather have children in my 30s than in my 20s because I figure my shit out a little bit more. I guess that's what I was getting at. Later in life, I'm like, oh man, it sucks because I'm not having kids because I can't just like run the bases and I can't do all that stuff like I did in my 20s. But the stuff that I can teach them mentally and the like experience that I've had when I can teach them that way, that means more. You can have that coach teach them physically. That's fine. I can show them some things and they can run around just fine. But the stuff that the experiences I've learned and the stuff I can teach them mentally as a coach, dude, that's a game changer.
I know. I totally get what you're saying. All I'm saying is, sorry, I totally get what you're saying. But all I'm saying is, it's different when you actually have them mature enough to play with you. Because when you can actually run the bases with them. Say, for instance, run the bases with them, they understand it, and then it's like you want to be more physical. You want to be able to do more physical activities with them. Like, Dad is freaking watching elementary, was throwing footballs and running around like a crazy man, throwing footballs to us.
Right.
How old is he? 45? 40 years old? Almost? I was almost 20. He was almost 40. Dude, he was bad out of hell. So I
could do that once.
I guess all I'm saying.
Couldn't do it every week.
I guess all I'm saying, dude, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. 100%.
I'm in between.
I
know
agree
what
with
you're saying too.
But when you actually have that child that wants to learn and wants to progress, it makes you wants you to do more, wants you to be a better teacher. And you get more excited. And so, yeah, you're going to hate it in the morning. You wake up and you can't move your goddamn legs because you hurt so bad. But it's worth it because you're spending that time teaching your son or daughter, whatever it is, how to be better because they wanted to be better. Now they got Beckham wanting to play competitive soccer, comp league. And dude, he works his ass off now. But he never did. He didn't care. He didn't understand what it was to work hard to be better, to achieve something higher than some stupid city league bullshit. And so teaching him without having to actually do it with him.
So we got to give some credit back to the man again, because I don't know. So maybe the dude was in optimal physical shape.
That's what I was just going to say, dude. How many mornings did he wake up? And he was like,
After running around chasing our asses.
Dad.
That's what I'm saying, though. But he did it.
Yeah.
He fucking did
And
it.
did you ever hear him complain about being sore the next day?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I would be
Time.
such a bitch.
Dude, but that's what I'm saying.
I woke up this morning, I was like,
We were on the roof, and he put his body in this shape and rolled under the ductwork so he didn't have to crawl. He rolled.
I hurt so bad. I never heard that dude complain about being sore.
But that's what I'm saying.
point.
But he
so
took
either
the
one, he
time-
was just in optimal physical shape and just
No,
didn't
he
get
wasn't.
sore.
He was not that. He was definitely not that.
Or he just didn't complain to anybody because, man,
That's
I'm
what-
almost 40 and
Dude, that's what it was,
I
man.
was
I'm
a
telling
bitch
you right now.
today.
That's what it was.
I will say this, dude. So the other day, we went and watched Beckham's final game.
Yeah.
And after, dude, I was ready to ball up some kids. I mean, I was ready to, like, they didn't want to play, dude. I was like, I know you don't want any of the smoke, but, like,
Yeah.
I was ready to score on those kids, and they didn't want to play. So I don't know, dude. I had a little bit of an itch. I'm all, let's get out there and kick this
Let's
soccer
do
ball
something
around.
Stupid. Let's go.
Yeah. And the next thing I know, we were, like, the only people left. I was like, oh, maybe we should get out of here. But I mean, I don't know, dude. Kids are a whole different thing.
And that's the points I'm making is once you have them, man, you don't realize when it comes to athletics or work, like when Beckham wants to like pounding nails or screw boards together with me.
Yeah.
At first they hate it. They like screw this. I don't do this crap. But once they actually get that itch to want to do it, bro, you'll do whatever it takes to make them better.
That's what I laugh, dude. A lot of the time, Big Will will be like, Dad, I want to go to work with you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you do now.
Yeah.
But when you're 10 and I'm homeschooling you and I'm dragging your ass out the door.
That fool's what? 2 years old? He rakes my entire backyard with it's dirt.
Dude, he's 2, right? So I'm not putting a ton of stock in this, but man, he loves to help.
He does.
Like
It's a value. Yes, he's very good at that.
and dude, it's this part of it too. Like there's times where I'm like, yeah, dude, come. Like I was working on the motorcycle the other night. And so he wants to come help work on the motorcycle. And I'm like, yeah, dude, here's a wrench. Right. And next thing you know, he's like freaking using it as a hammer against the motorcycle.
Banging on shit.
But I had to be like, okay, just let him do his thing.
Yeah.
You know, like let him. And then I'm like, hey, can you hand me that? Oh, can you hand me? And like, I mean, we've put cabinets together. We've even just carrying the groceries in.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, Mom needs help. Let's carry these in. And he'll run out and get them. And I don't know, maybe all 2-year-olds do that. I don't know. But I just think about like, he's got something in him that and I think part of it is like, he just wants to be part of it.
Yeah.
Like he wants to
Well,
be
kids
a
wanna
part of
part
it.
of whatever the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you can make it, hey man, we got to carry these groceries in here. You can carry this one. You're strong enough for this one, right?
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. He's all about it, but I don't know. It's like a little blip. Ask me in 20 years, but
Yeah.
like I'm trying to carry that with him. Like
You need to.
but like going back to the motorcycle thing, like being patient with him, not snapping at him, not hey dude, why you throwing that wrench around, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I've talked about it a lot. I've been very open with it. I was open with it before I had kids. Like I didn't know if I even wanted kids.
Right.
And now it's funny looking at it now, you're like, what would I have done the last 2 years?
Yeah.
You know, like other than raise this little kid.
Yeah.
But I don't know, dude. Part of the podcast also for me is like, if I die tomorrow, that dude's got 90 some odd episodes
100%.
to get to know my friends,
back
get to know
on.
people, get to know me. I mean, it's basically like you were talking of diary earlier. Like I
Yeah.
just have a bunch of like vlogs,
Yeah.
you know, that he could like go and listen to. I don't know. Maybe it's a weird thing to think about, but
No, I think it's cool.
I'm like trying to put a platform out there that he knows. And like I was telling Jason, like I had grandpa come here and record some stuff. We never aired it.
Really?
But so he was sat there and we just talked a little bit. And for me, it was like, and I think he thought we were airing it.
Yeah.
And so maybe we should. I don't know. We have
That'd be
it.
kind of cool.
But
Let's just listen to more.
for me, it was like, we'll always have that video clip in 40 years.
Yeah.
You know, when I can show Will's kids what my grandpa was like,
Yeah, for sure.
you know, and
For sure.
I'll always have that.
Yeah.
And so,
Even just a blip, because
yeah,
it wasn't like he was super being himself.
right. He was being very
he
proper.
treated it like an interview. He was like,
Yeah.
okay,
So what
now
now?
what else do you have? What else do you have to ask me next?
I can see I said his bullshit like we
What
already
else?
like.
What's the next question?
I mean, he like told stories and stuff, but he was
That's
just kind
funny.
of, I'm like, so, well, my thing I kept on going back to was, so give me some dirt on my mom, dude.
Yeah.
What, what was she like in high school? Oh, she was just an angel. I'm like,
Yeah,
bullshit, dude. Tell
don't
me something that's
bullshit
going
us.
on.
Yeah, for real. That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, like stuff like that. Like I have that. I've really tried to start journaling,
Yeah.
and I have a book, and I've probably got like 7 entries in there. And like I was doing it every day for like 4 days, and then
Yeah.
then I
know.
didn't.
I know how that goes.
But I've even, I think for me, like you were saying, if it's something that I want to do or something that I see value in, I'll do it. I don't see value in journaling. Like
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. I see value in it, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But I've taken that same book now, and when I'm listening to podcasts or do it, like have thoughts, I write it in that book. And so instead of being like June 7th,
Yeah. I did this morning.
Yeah.
I ate this for breakfast.
Exactly.
Yeah. All the bullshit. Yeah.
like I've almost transitioned that into, I'll write down like listening to Ed Milet.
This thing impacted
This.
me. Or it's
Yeah.
important to me.
Exactly.
And then
or-
I'll just write notes down in it.
Right,
And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, Grandpa wrote a book,
Yeah,
right?
dude.
And so like, it's cool to see that. And so
awesome.
after that, I was like, dude, this would be cool to have like something down that, I mean, we're all going to have our own lineage and family, right? And so I think like how many generations down are still going to look at that
Right, dude.
in this, right?
Absolutely.
In Grandpa's thing.
I mean, and even this is so much easier. All you got to do is put a damn earbud in and you listen to it.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
Grandpa's, we got to read the damn book.
Yeah, this is out there forever
But
now.
this is easy. You just go to work, put shit in, you can listen
I guess
to it.
Jason needs to come in and do an audiobook with Grandpa's book.
I think that's a good idea, actually. Dude,
What are you talking
you're
about?
onto something, bro.
Yeah.
That's a
I don't
damn
read
good
real
idea.
well, remember?
Dude, that's...
You can if you want to.
And,
We talked about if you really want to, you can totally do it.
We don't like to.
And
Dude, that's a good idea. You should have come in here and narrative his book.
I just said that.
I'm agreeing with you. That's a
I can. I will.
Shit.
There you go.
Dude,
He just said I
told him out.
will.
He said he would.
It's on tape.
Done. Now you
What?
can't do
I'd
it.
come in here and read his book out loud and you record me doing it?
Hell yeah.
All right, what else you got? Anything else? We're getting close to 2 hours. So
Is this just part one or are we just finishing this up?
do you have a part 2? Maybe we cut it when you took a pee.
We could do a part. We could do a part 8.
Well, you can come back
I'm
on.
just saying the three of us could do this forever. I just thought you said maybe this would be just one.
Do
of
you
two,
have any more
or
notes
this is
that
it.
you actually have something you want to talk about, or we just want to go start on something stupid?
Yeah, that's pretty much everything I had, I think.
What else got?
Do you have some words of wisdom for Jason getting married in a month?
Hey, there you go. We brought that back up again. Why don't you talk about it?
Yeah, let's talk about Jason.
They said have kids. Don't do it.
It goes back and forth. One day he's like, oh man, my kids are the most important thing to me in this whole life. You need to have kids before you get too old. You're getting too old,
think
bro. You need to have kids.
No.
And the next day he's like, don't have kids. Never have kids.
I said that.
Yeah, the mixed messages, dude. What do you-
Bro, I'm just saying, if you have kids, they will be the most important things in your life. But don't do it. But if it's an accidental thing, you're solid, dude.
So
Mixed message.
Big A at the post office, right? Adam
Yeah.
Googler.
Yeah.
We talked for years that we were going to go back and study our lives and see who was happier, him with kids or me without. And obviously I screwed that up 2 years ago. But we talked about that all the time. It was like, okay, at 29, I was
That
so
guy-
much more happier than you were.
That guy is a happy guy.
Dude, you know what's funny, dude? Because so my kids are with their mom right now, and my daughter Violet was with her dad. So we've been like,
You're empty nester, bro?
dude, bro, it's been stupid good. It's been amazing. It's been freaking amazing. It's like 3 days we had no kids. It was great. The house is clean. There's no chores to do. They're done.
Yeah.
I made some steaks. They were great. Like, dude, we watched John. Oh shit!
Wow.
I wasn't
four.
supposed to say that.
He did it. Number
I
4.
didn't finish. Screw you and your friends, dude. I've been waiting for how long now?
Oh, he did
Anyway,
it.
Dude, but I'm just saying, like, you love your kids, you appreciate the shit out of them, but it's nice to have a break.
Yeah, this is my thing on kids is like, I don't know what it's like to not like, if I wouldn't have had them, I don't know what that's like anymore, right? Because I did.
Yeah.
Or I had one.
Yeah.
But now, like, I mean, I couldn't even imagine my daily routine without him.
Without them, right?
You
Exactly.
know, like literally every day, unless Amanda had to go to work early and I'm not up yet, right? Which happens.
Yeah.
But like every day when I come out and he's sitting there playing trucks, eating breakfast, watching tunes, whatever.
Yeah.
I come out and say, "What in the world?" And then he turns to me and he goes, "What in the world?" And like just those little things, man. Like,
Dude, it makes your day.
like if I beat Amanda home, which happens every now and then also,
yeah.
and she goes and gets him from daycare on the way home, and like I can't wait for my phone to tell me the garage door opened.
Yeah.
And then I run out there and get him out of the truck. And, you know, I don't know. It's just like, I couldn't imagine what my daily routine would be
Without them.
Yeah. And like nights like tonight, like knowing that I'm still working or recording the podcast or whatever, and I know I'm not going to see him before bed.
Right.
Like it digs at me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And again, like hopefully there's some value in this for other people and him.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm doing it. But
For sure.
I was talking to a friend the other day, just the network I've put together. And I'm like, now that dude's got a springboard. Now my kid has a springboard of this network I've put together.
Absolutely.
You know, by doing the podcast. So if it doesn't benefit him, that's his own choice. You know, like,
For sure.
I mean, I've laid the,
You laid the
I've laid the
foundation. You just got to
foundation
eat it
for
up
it.
now.
Yeah.
For sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Now, kids, great, man.
I'll say something about that real quick from my perspective.
Sure.
Obviously, I've waited till a little later in life for that, but you're not that far behind. I mean, what were you?
That's what I was like,
32?
132.
32.
Yeah, so we're about the same. But the difference for me is that I had some experience in it before you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dated long term with a couple of girls that had children, and I took them in like my own.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did experience that a little bit. And then I took his kids in to a certain level.
Absolutely.
And over years, on and off, kind of helped with them. So I have experience with the kids. It's not new to me.
Sure.
And I knew that I always wanted kids, whether it was one or two, probably not, hopefully three, but maybe. We'll see. But I always knew that I thought that was going to be in the cards for me. But as I got older and I had failed a relationship after failed a relationship, even though I'm awesome.
Yeah, you're pretty awesome.
Shut up. I'm pretty awesome.
I just say you're pretty awesome, bro.
I dated crazy people.
You did.
I hope they listen to it because they're crazy.
They're psychopaths. They are fetching crazy. They should be in the insane asylum. I'm just going to say that out loud.
Okay, sure. But I had to prepare myself for two things. I had to prepare myself mentally, and it took me a long time. This is a mental exercise I did for a long time. I might not have kids. You have to be okay with that. Maybe you're not going to be a father. You have to be okay with that. Maybe you're not going to get married. You have to be okay with that. And I took about 2 years, no shit, where I had to have mental exercises every day so that I didn't get fucking depressed over it.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like, I don't tell people this a lot. Like, I had to get okay with the idea that I might not have kids and I might not get married. I might be a single dude that didn't have kids, that just lived life and had cool experiences and maybe left some memories to family and some other people. I had to get there mentally to be able to get through days. And it sounds weird, but I did. And, oh shit, that flipped upside down.
Sure did. Sure did.
Oh man, this chick that I met, dude, she cool.
Yeah, she's cool, dude.
She is. She's a gem. And so now I had to flip it back again and be like, okay, so now maybe I'm going to have kids.
Going the other way.
I'm going toward 40.
Yeah.
And so I had to like flip this mentality. And
So are you saying like you accepted the fact that you wouldn't be there, but now you're turning it to where it's actually could happen?
I did.
You accepted that it wasn't going to happen.
Right. But at the same time, while I was doing that, I'm like, okay, well, if it does happen, these are things I have to prepare for.
Right.
And so it's like, do I prefer pushing 40 having kids, or do I prefer just past 18 having kids? Because you have a certain energy here and you have a certain like mentality here,
Maturity.
like,
Yeah.
the maturity that you've learned about life here that you can teach. I don't know. That's what we were going back to. Like, would I rather run home run bases 30 times as a 19-year-old, or okay, no one's gonna do that at 19, as a 24-year-old with a 5-year-old? Or would you rather be able to teach concepts of life as a 38-year-old with a 4-year-old?
Oh, I would much rather teach concepts.
That's what I'm saying. So I've had to come to grips with that. It's okay.
I understand what you're saying, Mike. I understand that too.
I'm good with it.
If I had to pick one, I would pick concepts.
Like I'd rather pick a little later than earlier.
I know what you're saying. All I'm saying is when you're in the damn moment and your kid wants to run a damn base, you can run the damn base.
Hey,
No,
I'm running.
I understand what you're saying.
I'm running
You're gonna be
base.
sore
if you-
shit the next day.
But if you had to pick one or the other,
Well, if you had to pick, that's a different story.
That's where we're at.
that's what I'm
No,
saying.
damn that. Damn that.
I had to.
No, what I'm saying.
I didn't have to. I have to accept that I'm pushing 40.
We're talking about running bases, bro.
Okay, so I have talked to my fiance about this. We're planning on having kids.
Yeah.
I'm 36. So what age did you start at Little League? 7?
No.
No,
5?
it's like 4 or 5. Isn't
Well,
it?
Dual T-ball.
Little League's 12.
Oh, Little League.
yeah.
Little League.
T-ball.
5. T-ball's 5.
5, 6 years old.
Yeah.
So if I had a kid right now, I'd be 42, 43.
They don't run really, really fast, but you fall another base.
That's funny.
Says pro, but they're not that
They
fast.
don't run very fast. You know what I'm saying, though?
I know, dude. I 100% I know what you're saying.
Run the
I know what
bases,
you're
that's fine. But sitting on
know
your
what you're
knees, throwing the ball back and
That's why
forth.
Dad's on a damn bucket.
I know.
Yep.
I know.
You're right. No, what you're saying is 100% true, dude. I'm just saying.
I would rather suffer through that physical part of it and know what I know than be more physically active and be dumb as shit.
I know. And again, you guys don't have kids. What I'm saying is, I thought the same thing. But what I'm saying is, when those kids get to that age where they can, and they want you to do it with them, you're gonna do it because they're kids. So you're gonna hurt like hell the next day,
Oh, I understand what you're
but
saying.
you're gonna fucking do it.
So we're good then.
That's what I'm with you.
You're saying even if I'm 50.
I'm agreeing with you.
Ah, cool. High five.
You're gonna do it.
No, high five.
High five.
It's the first time you guys agreed.
You may not like it, but you're gonna do it because they're your kids. Like that, they want to, and you want to do anything for them. So you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Whether you want to or not, you're gonna do
That
it.
makes sense.
That's all I'm saying.
I see what you're saying. I guess I was mentally battling. Am I going to be smart and old and wise
Yeah,
with them? Or am I going to be young and
You're gonna be both.
physical and all that with them? But you're
you're
saying
gonna
when
be
it comes
both.
to the point,
Well,
you're going to share your shit.
You're gonna be both.
So I choose being older.
I think the other part of it, though, is like, I think that you can still be mature. Like, say you have your kids at 20. As long as you're maturing and you're trying to better yourself as well, you can teach them that as you're getting older.
Yeah, and I think that's what we experienced with our parents. It's like, even though they were in their raw early ages, so right, it just depends on the
Well, look at this. Look at this. Whatever your opinion is, but like, look at Scott Richardson, our uncle.
Yeah.
Like, they had kids fairly young.
Yeah.
And he was like, as he grew and he learned, I guess everything for me goes back to money. Like, that's success to me is money. But like, as he learned investing, as he learned money, as he learned, he was able, and I mean, as kids,
Yeah.
but like, look at Scotty, like their oldest kid, like he was able, they both kind of grew that together.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
just a
for
different
sure.
outlook. I think you could still do it,
Yeah.
but I'm with you at the same time. Jason is like, I'm glad that I had a kid at 30 and not at 18.
Right.
Right. Like, everything that my life experiences and everything I know, and I mean, and hopefully I know more when I'm 50 and he's 20.
All right.
Right. But I don't know. I think it could go both ways. I think it depends on the parent as much as anything else. Like I've talked about, I think I outgrew Dad when I was like 17.
Yeah. 16, 17 years old. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I think part of it was like he was declining as I was growing up.
Progressing. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, I mean, there was some of that, but I mean, I remember having conversations with Mom and Dad at that age,
Yeah.
and they didn't know like basic stuff. Like, and I'm not trashing Mom at all.
Well, she never did any of it.
That's what I was gonna say. Dad
did it.
Dad took care of a lot of it and
Yeah.
did some screwy things.
Yep.
But like, when I took the house over, we went and talked to the Stouts. Like, we sat down with Ron and Myrna
Yeah.
and was like, what does all this mean?
Yeah.
You know, like, is this a good idea? Is this, and like, at the time I wasn't, and Mom didn't take it that way, but like, at the time I wasn't putting Mom down,
Right.
you know, like, oh, I value these guys' opinion over yours. It
Right.
wasn't that at all. and mom went with me and was happy that they helped. Right. But
Right.
I just think like so mom was how old was she when dad left?
46,
Okay.
something like that.
I know more at
46.
34
Yeah. She knew.
than mom and dad knew at 45.
Yeah. 45. Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I think that you can still, and they had a different role than I did. Right. I've been able to take risks and
Yeah.
grow and pay coaches and do all these things that they were trying to put food on the table. So like they had a different,
But I think
path
that's
than I
part of it
did.
is they just did the basics.
yeah,
They never.
that's my point.
Yeah. They never tried to grow and learn more like you have.
That's my point.
Yes. They just did the basics to get through.
Yeah.
And I've noticed myself, I've been doing that for the past 10 years. I mean, when I was younger, dude, I was all about balls deep and getting into new things. And then when I started having kids, I'm like, oh shit, now I'm working so much. I'm doing all these things. I never progressed in learning and growing. But now hanging out with you and all the conversations we had in California and all the different things and possibilities I have with my house that I've just bought, like
And our boy Arif.
Arif's a bad. Hey, shout out to Arif, dude.
You had to bring
He's
it
a
up.
Badass.
I love
course
Arif,
you did.
dude.
Arif's a stud, dude. Love that dude. He's a badass. But yeah, like now I'm 40 and now I'm starting to learn to grow. I wish I could have done it earlier.
Yeah.
So any young bucks out there, seriously, trying to teach my kids, start young.
Well, I think, and mom's even talked to me about this a lot. So I've got mom on a Ed Milet kick, and she's listened to a ton of Ed Milet stuff. And
What is this?
Ed Milet.
What is that?
He's a guy. It's his name.
no,
Ed.
shit, I get it.
He's now he's like he's a speaker. He's probably worth like $800 million.
Like in business or life or
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
Okay.
He Prime America was like how he got wealthy.
Okay.
He's in all kinds of stuff now. So I'm part of Arte, which is like a coaching group, and him and Andy Frisella are the two people.
Okay.
So I went to their live event. Ed had this amazing talk. And so I had like for a week, I had access to the recording.
Mm-hmm.
And so I showed it to mom like as soon as I got back. And so she's been on this Ed Milet kick, right? And one of the things he talks about is as parents, it's our obligation to be happy, to put ourselves first, to not put ourselves first above the kids, but like keep ourselves healthy, to progress, to, I mean, for me, it's my obligation to have a foundation set for Will 10 times better than I had, if that's a good way to put it.
Well, that's what most parents say. They want us to be better than they are.
Better.
Sorry. but
Better's
yeah.
great,
Yeah.
but I want him to be like,
On
dude,
top of it.
yeah. Like I had this talk the other day. I had a buddy tell me, I mean, dude, in all reality, and I've talked about this before, Amanda could pay our bills. I could stream Call of Duty all day, right? And so I've had buddies be like, dude, why are you doing everything you're doing? And I'm like, it's my obligation to push our family forward and build that for him. Right. And the same friend was like, dude, he's going to figure it out. Like, you don't have to do all of this. Like he'll just like you, dude, he'll figure it out, whether he has that pedestal or not. And I'm like, yeah, but instead of him going through the things that I'm doing right now, what if he has, and we were talking real estate and stuff at the time. So I'm like, what if him and I have 10 rental properties that are paying his daily expenses, and you think it's cool because you can go volunteer at Bishop Storehouse? What if we build 10 of them?
Yeah.
I'm like, what if he has that structure and that base and that knowledge and that whatever word you want to put to it, that it's like this. We'll bring up Adam. I mean, that's the example I gave. So I said, dude, I don't know how much of this should be on here. So Adam is part of Red Rock. He's a partner in Red Rock Properties.
Right.
He has a couple partners in it. I'll say that.
Right.
One of them is the dreamer, and he also brought the money.
Right.
Right. And so I used it as an example. I was like, so if Will is just a trust fund kid,
Yeah.
and he can bring this whole business of what Red Rock is now, because it doesn't happen without the dreamer money guy, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, if I can even if that's all that I can do is make him a trust fund kid and maybe give him some life experiences.
Yeah.
If he can do that and then create a company of what Red Rock has ended up doing in St. George, I'm like, think of how many lives Red Rock has changed just from employing people, the learning experiences. Now they're into the Make-A-Wish stuff. Like they could be changing lives.
They tap into a lot of things.
So that's what I'm saying though. But like all of that happened because one dude's dad or grandpa, or I don't know how he got it,
Right.
but set up a trust fund for him.
Right.
So like, is that not my obligation to set him up
In a position to be able to do
Yeah. And luckily I always have to give Amanda credit. Luckily I'm able to do that and take the risks that I can because Amanda's well educated and has a good job.
Your wife's badass. You can say it.
Yeah. I mean, she's always like, you give me too much credit. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm not who I am.
She allows
without
you to do what you do.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I don't know.
But at the same time,
I can see Jason's like gears turning.
I know, dude. I know. He's all silent over there. He's like, I'm going to say something
no,
crazy
at the same
right
time, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do what you do. You should do what you do because you want to set your child up to give them every advantage they can possibly have. At the same time, I don't, is the word obligation the right word? Maybe it is.
I think it is for me.
But how many other people do you know very closely who did the exact same thing and their kid didn't take advantage of it?
Sure. I don't think I still think it's my obligation to have it there.
To
It's
give
your
the
obligation
opportunity
give the
to.
opportunity.
Yes.
Correct. That's the way it should be said. Yeah.
I mean, I can't force him to do it. Well, and I had this thought 2 years ago when I was building this, like our safe store, right? I mean, we took it from in a storage unit
Yeah.
to
For real.
$300K the first year
For real.
to where we did almost $700K last year.
Yeah.
And so like I was building this and in my head, I mean, we'd had Will, we just built our dream house,
yeah.
right? And I was thinking, dude, I'm going to build this sweet retail store and one day my kid's going to run the shit out of it. Like that's why I was doing it. And it hit me one day. I was like, well, what if he doesn't want to run a retail store?
That's where I'm getting at.
I know.
That's where I'm getting at.
And so that's where my mind kind of shifted to like, okay, we need cash flowing assets. I don't need to give him a job. I need to give him cash flowing assets and
but also at the same
knowledge
time,
to do it.
Whenever you can, keep him as close as possible so he experiences it all.
Oh, 100%.
He understands what you go through and
That's
what
why
it takes to do it.
I've been very open about probably homeschooling him.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's just going to roll with me every day.
100%.
Like whether you want to or not, dude, you got to learn all this stuff.
And that's a totally different podcast episode of a reason you should homeschool him besides just that.
Yeah.
But yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, if the public school system keeps going the way it is, it's 100% that I will homeschool him.
Me too.
Shit.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that, again, I think it's our obligation to do that as men, as parents,
At least provide the opportunity. Do the work to provide the opportunity.
Well, I think there's ways to do it, and I don't have the answer to that, but I've seen ways of parents that didn't do it the best way.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
I'll bring Arif up again. Like Arif, one of the things that he said to me when I first met him and we kind of got talking about all this stuff is he has like guidelines for his kids.
For his kids.
Yeah. Like you will do this, you will do this.
Yeah.
And then we'll help you,
Yes.
you know, and
you have to do that or I won't help you.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's basic shit.
Yeah.
Like it's not like they have to go to Yale and
It wasn't like
MIT
graduating
and
high school was like step one and like
And-
step two is something.
you buy a house
Yeah.
or buy a rental before you buy your primary residence.
Right.
Like
Like
there's,
basic things as you would,
but
as you
each
progress
one
in
of the
life.
things will progress the kid.
Exactly.
Like it's not just like things that he's like pulled out of a hat. Like they're
Yeah.
things that are going to teach. Like, dude, I wish someone would have told me, dude, you got to buy a rental property before you build your dream house.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, luckily we have like a casita that we rent out at the house, but it's like, it's stupid, dude. Cause like we were just saying at 34, I feel like I've exposed myself to a lot. I've coached a lot. I've been coached a lot on things, but I'm like, man, even if I could go back 3 years ago, like I could be in a better position than I am now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure.
I don't know. It's life, though. The other part of it is like if I went and told myself at 21 all this, I probably wouldn't have done it anyway.
Right.
Like I think I had to walk the path that I've walked to get to where I'm at.
Absolutely.
That's the other part of it.
Absolutely, dude.
I mean,
Like say you have, you're not going to, but say you have 4 kids.
okay.
You're
Okay.
like,
And you set the same rule up. And you just have this one freebird kid that's just like
Yeah.
totally aloof to anything that you're saying. That changes the game.
Yeah.
Totally different. It's totally different.
Well, it changes the game how? Like, you don't think I'll cut him off?
Maybe you would.
Well, hell yeah, I would, dude.
Then what happens?
He's gangster, bro.
Then I'd be down to 3 kids.
That's your child. And just like we were talking about mom earlier, luckily, we're all doing fairly well, if not average above.
I think we're
Fairly
all
well
above
for
average.
ourselves.
Above average, yeah.
Okay. But she approaches every instance with us in the way that we need to be approached.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you got what if you have that one kid? What do you do then? If you have these stipulations set up and what do you do?
Hey,
then?
man, I'll still love you.
Yeah,
Still be
you
here.
gotta support him.
I
But
know
this is
that's
what it is.
totally speculative.
I honestly
Total
think
idea in the wind. I get that. But
I think I would be like, hey, man, still love you. If you're ever homeless, you can stay the night at our house.
I mean-
but these are well known. This is what we set out. These are not hard things to do.
yeah.
I mean, for instance, my stepson Tommy, good kid, made some maybe not the best decisions, but we still support him. We still love him. Like, hell, it's just like me. When I grew up, I thought I did. Mom supported me. Even though I did a lot of stupid shit. You know, you still love them. You still support them no matter what. They're going to make dumb decisions. You just hope that they come around. You try to set an example and you hope they come around eventually. I mean, I'm 40 and I'm kind of starting to come around. Kind of.
Mike's in the U-turn stage.
I'm at like the top of the thing where I'm starting to come back around. So that's the bottom line. When you have the kids, and my daughter wants to move around, I'm like, fudge. I don't want her to. She's going to, unless I don't let her. But no matter what, the bottom line, I said that. I might not let her. But the bottom line is the kids, you support them.
Yeah. Well, I
That's
think
the hardest thing for a parent with kids that are going to move out of the house. Hardest thing to do. Because the entire time they're under your wing. They just do what you say, whether they like it or not. But now they're going to move out, and now it's like, okay, they're not going to do what I say because they don't have to. So what do you do? Tell them to go away? Or do you want to keep them around and support what they do? You keep them around and support what they do.
well, and I think every kid's going to be different as far as if you tell them good luck, like that's their learning experiences.
100%.
Good luck, man.
Yep.
I get that. And somehow you came around.
You mean somehow?
Oh, shut up. You know how you were.
What does somehow mean?
You know how you were.
I was like a 30-year-old when I was 14.
Yeah, in certain ways, but not in other ways. Somehow we all came around. But somehow you came around.
going to say, somehow we all came
You were
around.
failing
because
out of school almost. You were like, it was weird. It was
we
weird
were
for a minute.
all down the rabbit hole for a minute.
But imagine if the like the stipulations for you being able to be a part of what was going on were even loftier.
What the fuck does that mean?
Would you have given up or would you have pushed harder at 17? Is this conversation getting too intellectual for the both of you?
Yeah, I think so.
Just Mike's face.
What the shit did you just say?
You don't
Loftier?
understand the words that I'm saying? You
Nah,
know,
dude.
You know what lofty means?
No, I know what a loft is.
From here to here.
I was trying
What's
to
a loft?
I was trying to understand, like,
What's a loft?
no.
Up here?
Listen. I was trying to understand if I wanted to be a part of what. I guess that's what was going through my head.
Not what we had necessarily.
Okay, because I was like, there's not a lot of things that made me want to be a part of that shit.
But what you're talking about creating.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have kids.
Okay,
And there's stipulations for if we're going to be around and help you out through life with all the stuff.
sure.
Would you have necessarily went along with that when you were 16? Or you had been like, that's a bunch of bullshit. You guys
No,
are crazy.
well, I
It's
think-
that's too much for me to handle. Like, think about 14,
Yeah, no,
15,
I understand.
16-year-old teenagers.
I don't know if I could
A
answer.
lot of them will reject that.
I think if you
think you
have
would've.
that day one,
You did?
I think, but listen, I think
He did.
I think if you
You
have
did
that
too.
structure and everything day one,
I
think it's different.
I get that.
but yeah, like
But
if all of a sudden mom and dad,
1 or 2 kid out of 7, who knows how many kids people have, 3 or 5 or 6 or 7, what happens to those ones that fall through the cracks? That just don't attach to that.
Like we said, man, you got to support them the best you can. That's all there's to it.
I see, and I feel almost a little different about that.
that's fine.
Like you're going so
You
hard,
feel different.
so hardcore on one edge, and you're not doing what mom did.
Well, but that's what I'm saying, dude. is
Mom
you
reached
have-
out to us on our levels and
No, I
pulled us
understand
into
that.
our way.
I don't know if I can answer that because
You say, "Hey, here's the things," and if not, then you can go off. Basically,
if William, if he has the expectations on day one of, dude, this is what you're doing. This is the only simple 5 things that I ask.
Right.
And these 5 things are also going to help you grow to understand
No,
all of this. Then I think it's a different question.
that's a great path. But what if at 19 years old he decided to go work at Petco, and that's what he wanted to do for his career for the rest of his life? Would you not help him with anything?
I would hope that he owned a Petco.
You would hope so. You would hope so. You would hope so.
But again, if he didn't, and
That's
that's
what I'm getting at.
If that's the path he chooses,
And, but he was a
you just support him.
happy person. And
Yeah,
he-
dude. If that but again, that goes back to setting the platform for him. Like if that's what fulfills him, I would. I mean, I doubt it would, but Petco.
I'm just saying. You know what I'm getting.
I understand.
Sometimes as hard as you try, 'cause again, you have a child. I haven't had my own children, but I've experience with children.
Yeah.
And I've studied a lot of the stuff. Sometimes you just have that 1 or 2 that they're outliers.
So what are you
They
gonna
just
do?
go completely outside of everything that you've lined up. So what do you do with them?
What are you gonna do with them?
Huh?
What are you gonna do?
I would hope that I would try to do what mom did.
Well, that's what we're trying to say. Like, no matter what happens, you're going to be there to try to support him and try to guide him in the right
Right.
direction.
But then you have this other set of rules that if you don't follow these
But
things
they're
and
not
do
rules
these
or guidelines.
things,
They're not.
you
rules.
don't get my support like they did.
I mean, I'm not. Yeah, but I think you're taking that to an extreme. He's not
Yeah.
saying like, dude, you're cut off and lose your
Yeah.
last name. It's not that. It's just, but it's when you're ready to go buy a house and you're asking us for help on a down payment, dude, you should have done these things.
Exactly.
Like that's more of what it is.
I get that.
And so then that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, dude, if you want access to everything I've built,
Yeah.
then there's these 5 things to follow.
Right.
Right.
But at the same time, if you've done these 5 things, you can probably get a loan for your house on your own. You don't have to rely on us. I get it. I totally get it. What about the other 2 that are just happy? They're not interested in some
Dude,
of
then
those
go
things.
be happy at Petco, man.
Exactly. Be
You're
happy
not-
doing
you're
what
not
you're
gonna-
doing.
You're not going to help them out?
Probably not.
I get it.
I mean,
I'm bringing that up
I
on
mean,
purpose.
financially?
So
You mean
at the
helping
same
out
time,
financially?
what we just established is that you don't need to help these ones out, but you're not going to help those ones out.
Financially?
Sure, or whatever it is.
Well, going along with his guidelines, like if you want this, you gotta put in the work. If you're not willing to put in the work, I still support you and I want you to be happy, but you're not gonna gain this if you don't put in the work. I still love you and support you. I'm not gonna, like you said, I'm not gonna
right.
put it down.
I still want you to come on Thanksgiving.
Exactly. Thank you. Exactly. So, but yeah, no, I agree with that. If I have guidelines, if I put all this hard work into it and you're not willing to do a little bit for me to help you, that's fine. I still support in whatever you want to do. Petco,
Right.
damn Petco, man. At least
But
go
if
to
you
Home
want
Depot.
to, but if you're wanting to go buy a 50 unit
Complex
apartment
or something.
complex,
Yeah,
don't call me.
exactly. And that's fine. That's not a bad thing because you laid out the guidelines and
Right.
they have to put in the work. It's it's just like a sports or anything. If you want me to really teach you how to be an awesome football player, but you're not willing to put in the work, learn the fundamentals, why the hell do you want to teach you the rest?
Yeah.
It's the same,
Oh, I get no.
I, mean, I think for
totally
me,
get that.
it's
you know,
like all the blood, sweat, tears,
blood, sweat, and tears, man.
not sleeping,
That's what it comes down to.
all
right there.
the stress, panic attacks,
Yep.
everything that Amanda and I have gone through to get to where and hopefully we're not even halfway through life, right? But everything that we've done, like, dude, if you can't do 5 simple things,
Yeah, and that's exactly it.
yeah.
What are those things?
Depending on what you're
I'm
doing.
just throwing 5
Yeah.
out there.
There's
There's
3. What are
so
they?
Arif's is, well, we named a couple of them.
Graduate high school is the first one.
Graduate high school.
Buy
It
your
was
first rental property.
before your primary residence.
Yeah.
Or you can primary residence and house hack it.
So I still have
Exactly.
an opportunity for that.
Right. I mean, so I don't remember exactly. I don't what his
Go listen to the
specific ones
podcast.
are. Yeah, go listen to his podcast.
I did listen to part of it, but, you're
But
right.
like I said, it literally comes down to anything in life. Learn the basics. If you want to be better at what you're doing,
I get that. So,
I've already gone
so
through
you
that.
teach your kids that.
100%.
But I guess maybe setting it as an expectation for
Well,
certain stuff, that's a little hard.
no, I think it goes to you're teaching them life, dude.
Sure.
Like if you can't check mark these few things,
Teach them that if you do this, it's going to advance you in these areas, but not necessarily like
I don't
you're
feel like
part of the fold if you don't. If you
No,
do
no, no,
this,
it's
and
not
you're
that.
not if you don't do it.
it's not that. It's not part of the fold or not my kid or any of that. It's
Right.
just I've worked hard to get to where I'm at, and if you don't want to put in a little bit of effort, then dude, good. I mean, I'm not saying you're never going to buy a
No,
house.
no,
like,
no,
good
no. I
luck.
get that, but a little bit of effort versus the amount of effort you put in are two different things.
That's why they should be able to do a little bit of effort.
A little bit of effort and the amount that you put in are two different things. And people live different types of lives.
Yeah. Well, I know, dude. The more I continue down the very long road that I'm on the beginning of in my life right
Yeah.
now, the more I'm like, dude, am I weird? Like, am I the
No, we've been more hardcore than the average person.
well?
in
But
our
like, I
lives.
just like I use. There's a guy I used to work with. I use him as the example all the time. I never name him. That dude's just happy working his 8 hours, reading
Yeah.
a book, going home, and he lives a simple life.
right.
That's all and I'm like, dude, if that's
content.
you,
He's completely
great, man.
content. Right.
That's not me.
Right.
But if that's you, great.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying you have to do all the crazy shit, but if Petco makes you happy, dude, go work at Petco 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
That's not me.
As long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean, we need fry cooks.
I mean, dude,
Like we
so-
need people to do that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, you have those go-getters, and you have the ones that may not be such go-getters.
Well, like,
but they're happy. That's all
Speaking
that
in high
matters.
schools, it's the same way. I'm
Yeah,
looking around the high
exactly.
schools and I'm like, I'm sitting there thinking like I'm preaching to all these future world leaders, you know? And
you're
then
gonna be president. You're gonna
Yeah.
be president.
and then one day I was sitting there like talking to a different school and I was like I'm not being rude. I'm just like, dude, I don't think you guys are gonna be on the same path I'm on.
yeah,
You know, like I'll
Right.
sit here and talk to you and I'll help you and I'll do everything, but
But then look
like
back.
you're probably the mechanic at Big O.
yeah,
But look
Yeah.
back, and you might have been the kid that ditched that class because you thought it was stupid and didn't go.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
That's
it's all
But I mean, I guess
Like
my point
this.
is there's a lot more people that are on a different path than I am, or
Sure.
the path I want to
For
be
sure,
on.
because what you're doing is not easy.
Sure.
It's very, very hard to do. So there's going to be a lot more people not on your path.
Well, that's
I guess I was more on the line like when you're talking about your children, it's very easy to alienate them based on status and based on what they're doing because you have these certain things, this criteria that they're supposed to meet.
I think you're seeing our personalities come out here.
and
Yeah, a little
some
bit,
of it might
bit.
not
Just a little bit.
add up to that. And yeah, you might feel like you're not good enough.
I think
Not
you're
that.
Pointing at myself.
Christ. This middle child again. What the hell?
I'm just saying- I'm just saying-
Shit off.
I'm working it out.
Like I think if I
working it
saw,
out.
if I grew up with what financially I thought my parents were successful and wealthy, and they laid out a few things for me as guidelines to become that and have access to their wealth,
You would not be where you're at now.
I would have 100% done that.
What they did.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I would have been
what I'm
like,
saying.
dude, you guys are doing it. This
Yeah.
is all I need to
And you
do.
would have done that.
Yeah. Like I don't think I would have questioned it. I think I would have.
That's what I'm saying. You wouldn't have
But I didn't-
talked to stouts. You wouldn't have done these things. You
Exactly.
would have progressed. You would have been right where they're at doing the same shit.
And that's when Jason asked the question earlier. I was like, well, I didn't have that, so I couldn't tell you what I would have done.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I do.
I'm not saying I'm cutting kids off, dude. You don't need to raise my kids, bro.
I'm not saying you are cutting kids off. I'm saying it gets a little bit more muddy
well, wait, you're having more than
when
one.
it gets into
No,
that.
probably
It's a great idea to have these things laid out for your kids saying, hey, if you do this, you're going to be successful too.
I don't know. I mean, the Trump kids are doing okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
actually
when you're
quite
a
true.
billionaire, you can do just about anything you
Hey,
want.
hey, give me 10 more years.
Derick's
Be a
going on
billionaire
here,
and
dude.
take care of your kids. You know, got to have rules and stipulations. You just take care of them for the rest of their
I'll
lives.
tell you
That's
what,
cool.
I'll cook your dinner. You just take care of me too, okay?
I'll cook your dinner better than he'll cook your dinner. It'll be okay. Yeah, I don't know. You don't know what I'm kind of trying to say. Like, as hard as you want to be able to have this set list,
Sure.
you might have that one kid or two kids that just don't fit into that.
But I'm not saying that you don't have to go be happy. I'm just saying.
Okay, but then you have this kid that sees that these kids did do that, and whether it or not it's their own means that got him to that, or you helped him with stuff because they did do that, and they're just sitting over here.
What, the other ones?
Maybe they're your kids, bro.
I'm not saying they're not. I'm just
And
saying.
I'm not saying you take care of them the same way but like it's just different, man. Every kid's different. You got one.
Yeah, maybe that's where I'm lucky.
All right. Yeah, no shit.
You know what I'm saying? They're all,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
they're all totally
It's
different.
a struggle because they're 100% different personalities. The way they learn, the way they grow, everything's different. And so,
and you have to have a certain structure that they all
You-
kind of fit within, but you got to all treat them individually.
it's a basic
totally
structure.
different.
It's a basic structure for all of them to have. You have chores. You have rules. There's the basic thing they have to live by if they live in your house, 100%. And if they don't do that, they get not punished, but they're the hell's the wrong.
Well, it's the same thing, dude. I think it's the same
You know
thing
what I
how
mean?
we grew up. It was like
Exactly.
you're playing
It's
sports,
the
you're
same
getting your
shit.
Eagle Scout, you're
Yeah.
doing. I mean, what I'm asking is not anything different.
no. What you're saying is if you play sports, you don't have to do chores and everybody else does.
Well, we also lived that in our family as well.
Yeah, we know all about that. That's good.
All right, last question.
We're all Eagle Scouts.
Mallory's probably like, shit, I want to get to bed sometime tonight.
Right. My wife's like, where the hell is he at?
Last question. And I've tried to ask this a few times and I always forget. But at the end of your life, what's success?
Oh, damn. That's a tough one, man.
I mean, part of mine is like, and I'll give you a second to think about it because I always spring it on people and I forget to say like, hey, I'm going to ask you this at the end. But
Yeah.
like you guys kind of talked about dad having everyone at the funeral. Like
Right.
it's two things. There's two different ways to look at it. And Ed Milet actually put it really well. Like, so what he talks about is when he dies and gets to heaven, or whatever you believe, right? That there's this other being there and it's the real Ed Milet.
Yeah.
And when he meets that guy, he's like, man, I've been chasing you. Like, I recognize you. I've been chasing you. You know, I've been doing all this stuff. And then he talks about the flip side of that, where he gets up there and it's the real Ed Milet. And he's like, I don't recognize you. Like, I wasn't doing the things that I was supposed to do. Yeah. You know, I had a lot of momentum and then I got scared and then I didn't take that opportunity. And then I treated these people bad and, you know, maybe I got on these financial decisions that, you know, and he just talks about like the two different versions of when he
Right.
dies and goes to heaven.
Right.
My thing is, and I've thought about like legacy probably way too much as a young kid.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the best way to put it is probably just like, I don't want my funeral to be in a church. Like, I want you to I want to be able to like pack a college stadium,
Yeah.
like with everyone that I helped or people that knew me or had a good thought about me.
That's my mentality.
Like, I think that's me more than anything.
I don't think about heaven. If I'm going to be there after I die, cool. But I don't think about that. I think about the people that are still here and the people that I affected.
Legacy.
I think about... I've thought about it a little bit more lately because I'm like, yeah, I could die next week. Who knows?
Getting old.
I've totally
Almost 40.
been a little bit more on that mentality than I used to be. And my only thing is I just hope that I have people. I hope I have people that show up that I didn't think would show up. That say I'm glad I experienced that guy. I'm glad he was part of my life. I'm glad he affected me somehow. Like, obviously, I know I could name 50 people that would absolutely show up, and some of those people they already would, and that's cool. And they'd have their own stories and they'd do all this stuff. But I hope there's that handful of people that I wouldn't really think of that that said out loud, like, you know what, I'm glad he was alive. I'm glad that I had some sort of part of it. I don't think about the after. The after is going to happen when it does, if it does. That's already going to happen. So I think about the people that are still left behind that I affected. I call it legacy. I call it what I left behind. I don't care as much about money. I don't care as much about that. It would be nice. I'd like to leave millions and billions and all that to my posterity, but I still think that it's just as important that I taught them stuff for them to figure out their own lives.
Well, so that's
more about the people you touch, that you affect, and they're happy that you were alive.
Yeah, for me, it's bigger than just family. But like if you go to the family side of it, what I've talked about on here is generational wealth. Like that's what I want to leave.
Right, and that's where you and me are a little different.
Right.
That'd be nice.
Sure.
But
it's important to me.
It's not my goal.
Yeah. Yeah. But so you were saying like to teach the next generation of what they got from you. Like that's the generational wealth side for me is I always butcher it and I never remember what it is. I just need to write it down. But there's a saying, Brandon Descharme talked about it and I think it was like French or something, but it meant 3 generations of wealth. Like that's when you're wealthy.
Right.
Is if you can pass that on not to your kids, but your grandkids. Like if there's 3 generations of it, then that means you're wealthy. Maybe that's old money, right? As they talk about like back in England and stuff, it's old money.
Right.
But anyway, Mike, go ahead.
Oh, dude, I don't know, man. What was the question again?
What's success at the end of the day?
Damn, success at the end of the day.
I mean, because to me, dude, a lot of, and I've realized this talking in schools more than anything, is like it's money to me.
Yeah,
like I'm money driven.
And that's you guys are talking about wealth. And
we're talking about 2 totally different things.
He's talking about wealth, and
mine's more of a philosophical side. Like, my next generation, the one after me, might figure it out. They might not. But if I can teach them how to be good people and help other people and to be there, and all, that's way more important to me than having 3 generations of wealth.
See, I guess
100% different.
I guess, how would I say that?
I mean, I'm not saying I don't want that too.
No, I get that.
Okay,
I'm just saying,
like,
I would much rather.
I don't want to be Scrooge McDuck. And
I would much
just
rather
leave enough money for 3
Right,
generations.
but if it's on an important level, I'd much rather that my kids and their kids be as close knit as we are than worry about being a billionaire. 100%. This is the most important thing in my life. And that's what I would like to pass on to the next generations.
Yeah.
If some wealth and other stuff and I gained some things and I could teach them that too, that's cool. But this is the most important thing. 100%, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think for me, I think it's more along your side. Is not necessarily passing a lot of money, but passing a lot of knowledge and just being
knowledge about what?
Everything
Exactly.
that's good in life. I mean,
Exactly.
like making good choices, financial decisions, the people that you hang out with, everything. I guess anything, literally anything in life. But like, that's the biggest things is the financial decisions that you make. Because I made a lot in the beginning, and then I veered off, and I made a lot of shitty ass financial decisions that buried me. And now I'm trying to pick it back up, put the pieces back together. And so I think, and it's crazy because I think about. I hope, maybe not. Sorry. Damn microphone. What? Give me your damn microphone.
I'm laying back all here.
So much comfortable. So much more comfortable. Like, I think, like, throughout my life, when you guys were younger, even with, like, Samantha and Shelby, our cousins and other people, I did a lot of dumb shit. And I'm hoping that a lot of the mistakes I've made, you guys were able to learn from. And that's the same thing with my kids. I think that I've done a lot of great things. I've done a lot of stupid things. And so I hope they pick up on both of them. To me, as long as the people that I'm around, I don't give a shit about anybody else. I don't care who the hell comes to my wedding or my funeral. I could get buried in the damn mountains. I don't care. That doesn't matter to me. But it's during my life, the people I affect, whether it's positive or negative, and the way they take that is what, to me, is success. That's successful to me. I feel like I've fulfilled a lot of lives, whether it should be all be positive, but whether they've taken my negative or my positive and used that to make their lives better.
You're saying family more than just people.
Yeah. I mean, close friends, yeah, but mostly family. I give a shit about nobody else. Like,
so
legit.
tough, dude.
I know. I'm for real, though. I don't give a shit about nobody else.
See, and I'm a little in between of that.
I don't
like,
care.
I'd like
The
to know
people
that I
care about-
affected some people outside of my family that I came across or that I helped in a organization or a business or a school that I worked at or something that would come and be like, yeah, he helped my life be a little better.
Yeah.
Or he taught me something.
Well, like
or
my experience on the last episode when I was recording with Solid and Jeff Fieldstead, love that guy. Yeah, I hope he was being honest. But he just kind of brought up like, dude, your reputation around town, like everyone I talk to likes you, and like that's hard to come by.
Right.
And
we're all
like
that,
when
we're
he's
all that way.
but when he said that, I was like, it just kind of like lit me up.
Yeah.
And so I was like, so obviously that means something to me, like more than just family is what I'm getting at.
Right.
So I'm like, so that must mean something to me, because when he said that, I was like, dude, I'm thinking like, I hope you're being honest.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm not just doing all this shit for no reason.
I mean, but you're saying the same thing. Like
I know.
some of it might be a financial take for somebody, but hey, dude, we're almost the same in different ways. Like we worked in special ed. We've tried to put ourselves out there to affect people in positive ways, and that might be financial, but a lot of time it's not. A lot of time it's influence, and how can I teach you things that I've learned and help you be a better person, but also at the same time, you're making me a better person. And it goes both ways. Like
I just think that I think that I can like megaphone that with also having finances.
I get that.
So I think that
I get
there's a
that.
huge benefit to having finances
That part's
while
gonna,
doing that.
that part's going to hit the 10 or 20% that actually take it that way. 80-20.
This is 80-20, bro.
Why are you laughing at me?
What do you mean?
This is real philosophical shit.
Expound on that. What do you mean?
You've heard of the 80-20 rule?
Sure.
So what
That was
percentage
90-10.
what percentage of people that you've ever influenced in any certain way is going to become very, very wealthy? Probably 20%.
I understand what you're saying, but if what you, I think what I'm saying is, instead of, I'm trying to cast a bigger net, so even that 20% is still more people.
Right. But,
And so I think finances helps you cast that bigger net.
right.
Absolutely.
It could be. What I'm getting is cast your entire net of who you are, and 20% of those people might take the finance part and run with it.
Okay.
But don't forget about all the other stuff too. You're not. I'm just saying you're going to influence other people in totally different ways that isn't financial.
Sure.
That's all. That's all
But I
I'm
think I
saying.
reach those people by being financially set.
Could.
I think I reach more
Absolutely.
of them.
Yeah, for sure. If they choose to, yeah.
I mean, like, I don't do a podcast if I don't have enough money to fund the podcast.
Sure, but I think
Yeah.
out of all the stories you tell and all the people you have on, you might affect 20% of people in a financial way. I think there's a lot of things that you talk about with people on your podcast and all that, and because of their mentality, they don't even think about
I
finances.
understand.
They take it a totally different way,
I understand.
which is good.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. My point is that there is no podcast talk about any of it if finances aren't there.
Yeah.
I disagree.
For sure.
You think a podcast exists without money to fund it?
No. I think about the content that you bring to the podcast. There's 20% of it maybe that influences people in a financial way.
He's saying you misunderstood him. He says without the finances, there could be no podcast. Is what he's saying.
Do you,
on
have, do you have a
this-
podcast?
on this level,
That's what he's saying. You misunderstood him.
I'm saying I don't have one if there's no finances.
Okay,
so I
oh,
have to
there.
have the finances to have a podcast.
I don't
Right.
have the finances you have, and I could absolutely have a podcast. I just don't do it. So it's a totally different level.
But I understand. But for me, I have to have the finances because I can't just do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the finances play the part to have a podcast.
that's
to
cool.
do
But what I'm
that.
saying, the content that you bring isn't
Mallory,
always,
we can cut all this.
the content that you bring isn't always about finances.
I understand.
You're talking about life stuff. You're
No,
talking
I
about
understand.
all kinds of things. So you don't just influence people about finances. You talk about life stuff. You talk about all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
It's not just finances.
Yeah. I mean, he deals with a lot of different people.
It's not just about, okay, how are you going to be the next billionaire listening to the Derick Legg podcast?
Should be. I'd be a billionaire by now.
Cool. Let's wrap it up. Episode 100.
100. 100.
Learn how to be a good person by listening to the Derick Legg podcast.
Learn how to be a billionaire. Listen to Derick Legg.
If you want to understand who these guys are more, go on to the Southern Utah Safe and Vault
Yeah.
YouTube channel.
Oh, we got a commercial, don't we?
Watch our new music video.
It is a music video. If I'm not famous after these two goddamn things, I got no hope.
Well,
No, just listen to the Derick Legg podcast and you'll be a billionaire soon.
there you go, dude.
It's all about finances.
Episode 100. Thanks, guys.
Cool.
We'll see you next week.
Later.